Good evening, everyone. We're coming in live from Decaf Coffee Republic. We're located at the second floor of Pioneer Street Market. This is also called PSM, inside HMR parking compound along Reliance Street across TV5. Ulitin po natin sa mga geographically challenged people. I just read this. So somebody commented on our Facebook and sabi niya, for geographically challenged people, ang hirap daw pong mahanap ng locations namin. Alright, so this is coffee. This is Decaf Coffee Republic. We are a coffee shop. We are a book cafe. We are also a function and events place. And we are located at the second floor of Pioneer Street Market. Pioneer Street Market is also known as PSM. This is the name of the building where we are located. So hindi po siya street, okay? Now we are along Reliance Street, and Reliance Street is adjacent of Pioneer Street. So if you're coming from Pioneer Street, when you hit McDonald's and you turn left, kasi one way na po yan, and that's gonna be Reliance Street, you can find across the HMR parking compound with the TV5. So pag nakita nyo po si TV5, sa kaliwa po kayo pumasok, nandun po yung parking lot namin, and we are located on the second floor. This is Coach A. I'm a certified life coach, and I empower people to be mentally fit so you can live beautifully and stay alive. I also advocate quality of life, especially for people who have special needs related to mental wellness. And here at Decaf Coffee Republic, we also do life coaching certification program in behalf of the Life Coach Training Institute based in Texas, USA. So just in case you need a professional service of a coach, or you want to start coaching professionally, said this, you will come to a perfect place to help you really start the journey into life coaching. So one of these days, we invite you to come over. I'm doing 2 talks regularly in this coffee shop. One is Coaching Tuesday, that's Kapihan Night, and tonight you're joining me for Coaching for the Soul, and we're going to be talking about paradigms and principles. So I'm not really sure if this is something that is innate to you, that regularly every day of your life you use the paradigms and principles to run through your life, or you are always confused. Are you on a paradigm or are you on a principle-based living? Alright, so for tonight, that's gonna be the topic, because we're gonna be talking about how you respond to life, and many times you respond to life depending on the principles that is in place, or depending on the paradigms that you have been using all these years. So sometimes, maybe the principles is correct, but your paradigm needs a little bit shifting, so you're not getting the best out of life. Or sometimes naman po talaga, you know that it is a principle, pero hindi naman pala siya principle, paradigm naman pala siya. So, if you wanted to be successful in life, and when we talk about success, it is something that is beautiful to you. So hindi po beautiful sa ibang tao. Success is innate to you. Success is defined by you and you alone. In fact, as a life coach, I would always say to my client, let's strive to live a fulfilled life, not a successful life, because a successful life is being defined by different people. So Coaching for the Soul is my weekly coaching talk, and the objective or the desire of my heart for this talk is to refuel and to reignite your soul, so you can start really living beautifully, that you can start reconnecting to your Creator, to our Creator, and you can start reconnecting with the inner being inside of you, and that inner being is you. So for tonight, we're going to be talking about principles, paradigms, paradigms back and forth, and they're going to be a couple of principles that I'm going to be taking off from Nightingale, from Covey as well, okay, the 7 habits of successful people. But most of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you are really great stories of men and women before me who have used and seen the value of paradigms, paradigm shift. Narinig na ba niyo yun? Okay, guest on floor, narinig niyo na ba ang paradigm shift? Okay, have you encountered in your life a paradigm shift? Okay, and there are also principles, o lagi yung sinasabi yun, you should have a paradigm shift. But if you ask, ano bang ibig sabihin ng paradigm shift? When are you taking off a paradigm shift? So these are the things that we're gonna be talking about tonight. But at the end of the talk, at the end of this coaching session, I want you to receive in your heart that whatever is your condition today, all right, whether there might be some need for refining your paradigm, or there is a new principles that you need to learn, okay, ultimately, our heart is to see that you get something okay, that can cost you to live a transformed life. Okay? So yun po yung objective natin for tonight. So we're gonna be rediscovering your principle, rediscovering your paradigms, okay, over many things in life. And let's see how we can improve from here. Okay, so if you believe that this talk can help other people, okay, I invite you to hit the share button. Okay, share it to other people. So na-miss ko na to si JM. Hi JM. Okay, sige. We've been doing a lot of things in this coffee shop that inspire people and help transform lives. And tonight, I'm gonna take off from the question, do you really know what are the principles you are living by? Yan daw tayo, okay? So, oh, by the way, I'm not alone on floor. I have beautiful guests. Tahimik lang po sila ngayon. Madalas po tahimik sila, tas mamaya mag-iingay na po sila. But you know what? The reason why I invite you to come and join me on floor, because really the meat of the discussion and the meat of my coaching talks is always at the end, wherein you hear great insights from men and women, great men and women who are joining me over and over again, week in, week out. And most of the guests that we normally have here are also certified life coaches. Coaches, nasaan kayo? Alright, so if in case you join us for a coaching talk right after my coaching talk, you will be able to be engaged with a certified life coach, and trust me, they are beautiful people. So it's really an opportunity to meet all of them. Tahimik lang po sila ngayon, pero beautiful people yan, mga yan. Alright, so I'm taking off, okay, from a question of, do you have principles in life? Are you governed with the principles in life? Okay, so what is one principle that you are living by each day? Can you tell that to the person next to you? Oh, ang lakas ng yes yun, wala kayong sinabi. Oh, isa lang. Let me challenge you. One principle. What one principle that you live by? That you are so sure na prinsipyo siya? Hindi opinion prinsipyo po ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Gonna be talking about principles. Okay, come on, talk to the person next to you. Principles are fundamental truths. Yan. Love moves daw. Okay? Ako, one principle that I believe that is really Bible truth and I really receive in my heart is the principle of sowing and reaping. I believe in that, 100% and one, okay? In whatever you do, I always believe in the principle of sowing and reaping, and later on, I will tell you why that principle also did not work for me. But sabi nila, a principle cannot be destroyed or cannot be refuted by the natural law. Ibig sabihin nun, whatever you do, if it's a principle, it will happen. But I will share with you my personal story why it did not happen. It's because of my paradigm. Okay? So until I had the paradigm shift, then I started reaping. Yung sabi kasi sowing and reaping, kasi dami kong sow, walang reap. Mali kasi yung paradigm. Okay, so nakapag-share na ba kayo? Kala ko pa may principle. O, ano yung principle? Oh, sige. Sowing and reaping. What do you got there? Same? Okay, copy and paste. Meron pa bang ibang principle? Isa lang ba? Siya. Love moves. Ito. Oh, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yan. Oh, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Ang ibig pong sabihin yan, dapat alam mong mahalin ang sarili mo. Napakahirap ng prinsipyo yan. Oh, kasi you cannot give what you do not have. Oh, Bernacen, meron ba tayo dyan? Humility. Okay, what's the principle in humility?
Kasi in humility, nawala tayo.
Nawala. Kaya natin yan. Hanapin natin.
It's easy for you to absorb learning.
Okay. If you're humble.
Yes.
Okay. Sige, meron ba tayo dyan? Principle. One principle you live by, kapatid.
Doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing at all times will bring you what? Will give you what? Doing the right thing?
Doing the right thing. Parang minsan kasi di ba minsan yung decision making ka
Okay.
na parehas naman tama, pero when you look at it, mas kapag may principle ka doing the right thing, yun yung hindi ka mahirapan mag-decide.
Okay.
Parang yun.
Okay. Writing. Coach Diome, you got something there? What principle you are living by? Tutulaan ako ni Coach Diome. Yeah. Yes, Coach. Love is, sa kanya love moves eh. Yes, Coach. You think about the things that people who's joining us online, okay? Good evening again. I'd like you to remember those things that you are basing on normally your decisions and attitudes and responses on a day-to-day. Okay? So, it's either it's because of your paradigm or it's because of the principle. Diba? Challenging yon. Sige, ano po? Coach Yomi, ano tayo dyan? Go. Yes? Ano daw? Ano po? Go. It's about doing the right thing. Okay, okay. Okay. I'm gonna take you off with one story, okay? One is a personal story and the other is a story that I've taken from Kobe, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the story goes like this. There's a man, okay? They're on the ride and the man get on the ride. So, siguro, if you contextualize it in the Philippines, siguro, kunwari nasa jeep ka or nasa, wag MRT kasi maingay talagang MRT, in a bus, no? So, here's a man, nandun siya, he's reading, and tahimik naman ang pamumuhay niya. And then all of a sudden, a dad, a father, with 3 children, get on, okay? And here's the thing, okay? Yung mga bata, super kulit, okay? They were unruly, they were highly dosed with sugar. You've seen children like that. Okay, they are unruly. They're so loud. Okay, and it's really very annoying and very disturbing to the man who's reading the newspaper. Okay, can you picture picture? Can you just picture that scenario with me? All right. So there are times that maybe you are in a coffee shop, maybe you are in a restaurant, and you just want to have that moment, and then here comes a family. Okay, and you feel that the children are uncontrollable. Okay, so that was the story. That was the picture. Here's a father with 3 children, and the children he got with him are all uncontrollable. Okay, so they were noisy, they were hyperactive, they were talking, they were doing a lot of things. And here's the thing. I'm sure you have seen this also. The father is not doing anything. Hi, sir. Okay, the father is not doing anything. All right? So, the father is looking at some documents, and he seems to be not bothering the children. Okay? So here's the man across, and he feels that this is so irritating. How could the man, the father, do nothing? And I believe you could relate with me that there are many times in our lives we could picture things like this. We are looking from afar, and we say, how could they not do something? Okay? Lalo na pag hindi ka parent, no? Yung mga hindi parent, very vindictive yan sa mga bata. Ang kulit ng mga bata, ikot na ikot, diba? Kasi when you're a parent, we can appreciate. So like, there are times when people gets to the coffee shop, sasabihin nila, Coach, pasensya na ang ingay ng mga bata. Then ako, I will say, bata eh. Diba? But if you are not a parent, well, of course, not everyone. There are parents also that are irritated with the sounds, no? But if you start seeing children running around the corner, you are not comfortable with it. And many times you ask, bakit pinababayaan ng magulang? Can you relate with that story? If you can relate, pwede kayong mag-emoji dyan, okay? Okay, so the story was like that. And it took for a while, and after some time, hindi na nakatiis yung nagbabasa ng newspaper. So he talked to the man, Sir, excuse me, your children are annoying, okay? Can you not see that your children are misbehaving? Can you not see that your children is out of control and everything, okay? And would you like to guess what the father said? Huh? What can you say? Anong guess? Can you not see they're having fun? Okay, anyone else? Who would guess what the father said?
I think that story is yung nag-mourn sila kasi they lost their passion.
Here's the story. The father said, yeah, you're right. The children, my children, are uncontrollable. And yes, you're right, as you observe, that here I am. I cannot do anything, or I am not doing anything. Tama. But you see, we just came from the hospital. We just lost my wife. They just lost their mother. And so, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. You see, I'm busy with the papers here because of the mother and I don't know even how my children can behave after they lost their mother. That was a real story. So could you just imagine what happened to the man? At that moment in time, he had that paradigm shift. All right? Why? The principle of etiquettes. Etiquettes are principles, right? That if you are in a public place, you've got to behave. That if you are in a public place, you have to do this, do that, do this, do that. All right? But at that point in time, that principle was not being displayed, and so the man reading the newspaper was so annoyed because his mindset, his paradigm is geared on the principles. But at that point in time, when he understood the story behind what he's able to see, he got a change of paradigm. So this is the paradigm shift that normally you hear. Normally you say, I had a paradigm shift. So what is a paradigm shift? Paradigm shift is that aha moment. Okay, now, the reason why you're having a difficulty to find paradigms and principles in the internet, because many times when you talk about paradigms, they are looking into the set of principles, they're looking into the set of methods, okay, that is being applied in the workplace. So this is the paradigm that we're going to be using, this is the principles and the rules that we're using. But truth of the matter, if you look at it, daily in our lives, all right, daily in our lives, you are able to put into action the paradigms of which you are besting all your attitudes and the principle which is the values of which you should be living your life. So the question is, are you living based on values or are you living based on the realities that you're able to see and perceive? To begin with. Ang lalim, di ba? So, are you living based on the values, okay? Because principles upholds values, all right? So, are you living your life based on values, okay? Or are you living your life based on the truth or realities that you can see based on your paradigm? Here's the thing. Many times you say, this is the truth, my truth, and the other person will say, this is my truth. And then many times we would say, it's either you're wrong and she's right, or she's wrong and you are right. But you see, there are how many sides of the coins? How many sides of the coins? How many? How many? Ilan, sir? 4. Okay, sir, bakit po 4? Yan. Oh, ang galing! Narinig niyo ba yun? Wonderful. Buti na lang yung nakikinig doon, di ba? Kasi coins eh. Oh, ano? Kaya nyo? Buti na lang nandun si sir. Wala dito kung hindi talo kayo. Oh, di ba? Look. Okay, balikan natin. Tama siya. Pag coins, mara-4, no? Pero kulang pa rin. Coin. Okay. Take a look at the coin. Ilang side ang coin? 3, 2, bakit 2? Ano daw? Oh, yung mga nag... Okay. Coach Diome, bakit 3? You're right. There are... This is a coin. I don't know if you have seen a coin. I hope you did. Okay? So this is the coin. Okay? So my head and the tail, 'di ba? Depende pag ginaganyan niyo 'to, 'di ba? Hindi ko gagawin baka hindi ko masalo. All right? This is 2 sides. All right? So if you're talking, one person can see this side, the other person can see this side. That's the 2 sides of the coin. But there is the third sides of the coin, this side, that nobody get to see.
Yes, but there's one.
Yeah? But that's a side that exists. So, how can you say that if I am wrong, you are right? And if you are wrong, I am right. There is one side of the story that we don't get to see. Alright? So the question is, alright, many people would say, I am vesting my decision based on the truth and my realities. But your realities is not the truth because your reality is your paradigm. Okay? One thing that many of us fail to see is the reality that our minds, alright, our head, okay, contains many maps. Where's the map? Alam niyo yan? Map. Alam niyo po yung map? Mapa. Dora. Okay. Where's the map? Okay? We are full of many maps. Okay? Many times we don't understand, okay, that there are many maps in our head. Okay? Ano po yung map? Maps. What are maps? Come on. What are maps? Baka hindi tayo nagkain. Ano po yung maps? Nakakita na po kayo ng maps?
Those areas.
Okay? Distance. You got there. What? Come on, nakakita kayo ng map. May kulay. Okay, ano pa? Napaka-challenging. Ito may altitude. Ito na, may longitude, may latitude. May drawing. Okay, may mga landmarks. Okay? Ano pa? What do you have there in the maps? Street names? Alright. Okay. But the map does not set the direction. Because what sets the direction is the compass. Yes. Right? So, the compass sets the directions and the maps is actually your point of reference in going there. However, not all maps are accurate. You need a compass. And the way you interpret the map could change. Right? Could change the direction. Di ba? Pag inikot-ikot, hindi mo nga alam. Nasan ba ako? Nasan, Kalakhang, Maynila. Nasan yung kalak nga anong Maynila? Hindi ko nga alam. Okay? So, here's the thing. The way we look at things, the way we respond to things, the way we express our attitudes over things are dependent on the maps that are in our heads. So, yung utak po natin, punong-puno yan ng maps. That's why many times when you are engaged in discussions, alright, before matapos yung kausap mo, may sagot na siya. You realize that? So in life coaching, one of the topic that I always love to teach would be the art of listening and the active listening skills. Because in active listening skills, we will see that only 7% is verbal components or vocal components. 90% are things that you don't get to hear. So that's where the vital requirements of listening comes into play. Now, many times, okay, the reason why we're having difficulty listening or really interpreting right what the other person is saying is because we've got multiple maps in our head. And the moment it triggers, okay, look, you're in this map and you're going on that place, automatic, your mind detects the map and goes straight into that. Alright, so there are many maps in your head, and do you know that there are two categories of that map? What are the categories? One is maps of the ways things are or the realities that we perceive, and the other maps are the way things should be or the values of things. So the way we see things or the realities that we would like to believe is the paradigms, and the things, the ways they should be, and the values of things in the universal truth are the principles. So the question now, how do you know, are you pulling the map? Are you pulling the paradigms? Let me repeat that at tumahimik po tayong lahat, alright? Your head, our head are full of maps, okay? And the maps are categorized into two. We've got maps of the way things are, the realities that we can perceive, the realities that we can see, the realities that we can believe. Okay? And these realities could not be the 100% truth because you are seeing only one side of the coin. Now, there are also maps of the way things should be or the value of things. So if you talk about the law of gravity, the value of gravity, that things you cannot change. Alright? So the question is, your mind, of all the maps in your mind, what do you normally pull off? Is it the map of principles or the map of paradigms? We interpret everything we experience through these mental maps. However, seldom do we question the accuracy. Let me challenge you right now. Do you ever intentionally challenge the way you think? When you decide, really? Okay, every day of your life, when you make a decision, do you really say, am I right? I am wrong? Are you wrong? Are you right? Who is right? Who is wrong? Really? Really? Pag galit ka, inisip mo ba, tinanong mo ba, tama ka bang galit? Hello, hello self, tama ka bang galit? Okay, tanya na. To begin with, the accuracy of your anger, you never ask. Basta galit ka. Because your mental maps have said, what she did, what he did, gives you the right to be angry. Because you perceive, bakit ka ba nagalit? Because you already perceive the matter to be wrong. It's simple as my story earlier, that the man perceived it to be wrong for children to be unruly. That was the perception of the man. But the man understanding that they came from the hospital and the mother just died makes the unruly children right now. So did you question? Sabi ni Bernadette, ano nga ba yun? Oh, gumulo eh.
Lumipad na po ako.
Lumipad. Hello, hello. Hello, ha? Okay, dito muna po tayo. Kaya po natin to. Mabilis lang po to. Alright, so, the thing is we simply assume the way we see things is the way they really are. And the way they really should be. Okay? Principle that I live by is sowing and reaping. For one reason, that principle, memorial as in for the longest time and decades, I always believe in that. Surprisingly, it never works to me in my mental mindset. Why it's not working to me? It's been working to me for the longest time until one time I hit a bankrupt. Yeah, there was a moment in time I hit the bankrupt. And here's my thinking. How could that happen to me when I was living in a principle of sowing and reaping? 101%. And I was saying, I can go to the point of being gullible and really pull off all the money and give it to a stranger. How I could be like that? So one time I asked my spiritual leader and asked, how could I lose all my money? Well, in fact, I was never greedy. I was never, to me, I'm a full-blown generous person. Paniniwala ko yun eh. And because nga I believe in that, because that's my principle. And I always believe, and I never question that. Because at a certain point in time, it was working. I was believing that my father was generous, so we were eating that, okay, and everything. So how could that principle fail to work? When you're bankrupt, that principle is not working. How could that be working? You're bankrupt. If it's the law of sowing and reaping is really working, how could you lose your money? Okay, who are the generous people in the house? Oh, lakas ng loob ah. Okay, do you always have the money?
No!
Oh, what happened to the principle of sowing and reaping? When you are generous, you always give. Remember last time we talked about?
Takers, givers, and takers.
Oh, last Tuesday we talked about givers, matchers, and takers. And most of my guests would say, I am a giver. So if you are all the giver, do I have billionaires and millionaires in the house? Sa puso, yan tayo, paradigms ulit. Alright? There you go. We've got the mindset, we've got the mental maps, okay, that wealth and riches could just be in the heart. But reality is there are people who are living millionaires and billionaires, so it can be really the truth. So if we are generous, and if the principle of sowing and reaping is a principle that cannot be outdated by universal law, meaning it is Bible truth, in fact, it's written in the Bible. So why is it not all generous people are wealthy? Because they are generous? Oh no! They give too much? Alright. I learned the hard way. Here's the thing. My paradigm is because sowing and reaping, my paradigm is just like to sow, give. Ba? Tama naman eh. Sowing and reaping. Give and give and give. Alright? So when you give, you receive. Tama, di ba? So, parang matchers ata ako, hindi ata giver kasi you give and you receive. Now here's where my paradigms come into play. I give without thinking. I give without wisdom. One thing I miss, sowing and reaping is rested on agricultural principle. Sowing and reaping. Sowing, nagtanim, reap, umani. That is an agricultural principle. Now, let's go to the agricultural principle. Hindi ito malalim. Kaya po natin to. Relax lang kayo. Okay? Mababaw lang po to. Agricultural, di ba, ang magtanim ay hindi biro. Nagtatanim ka, umaani ka. Tama naman. So, now, kung nagtanim po kayo, saan ka dapat magtanim para umani ka? Sa matabang lupa. Now, if you just squander your money and just give your money around, throw it in the air, how can you reap? Kung itapon po natin lahat ng punla natin sa semento, kahit po lahat ng punla ilagay natin dyan, wala po tayong aanihin. And it dawned on me, that one is really a big paradigm shift on me. Because now I understood, sungak ka eh. Hindi ka nag-isip eh. I mean, you just given a lot of money, wasted a lot of resources to where it will not grow. So what do you expect to happen? Then the principle will not work because of your paradigm shift, because of your paradigm. So unless you have a paradigm shift, then you start reaping the fruits of your principle. You're getting the point? Many times you believe on something which is biblical, which is Bible truth, which is universal law. Nabasa nyo na ba? Ang dami yung binabasa. The very reason why you read a lot of self-developmental tools, di ba? Mga self-help books. Yan. Ilan ang mga guilty dito na nagbabasa ng mga self-help books and then after nyo siyang basahin, hindi naman totoo. Totoo yan, hindi mo lang alam gamitin. Diba? Sabi nila, di ba? Love conquers all. Narinig nyo na ba yung principle na yan? Hindi, quotation lang yan. Yan principle. Oo. Yan tayo eh. Mental maps. Oo, hindi po yan.
Naniniwala ako doon. Naniniwala.
Conquers all? I don't think so. Okay. Our attitudes and behaviors normally grow out of our assumptions. And our assumptions are based on the mental maps that we have. So it's always important that you understand what are the mental maps that you have. Kaya ba? Kaya ba natin tingnan? So, if you are not aware that there are two types of maps in your head, mental maps in your head, then you will not also be aware that you need to re-evaluate and to revisit these maps. Make sense? Are we making sense? Can you connect? Okay. The term paradigm was introduced, the paradigm shift was introduced by Thomas Kuhn, and he is highly influential about landmarks books, yung mga landmarks yan, mas specific. He would structure things. He talked of, for you to have a change, there must be something significant to happen for you to have a breakthrough. Something significant to happen. Okay? So, the way you always see things would not naturally or easily change until a significant thing happens to you and your mental maps gets not disoriented but gets realigned. Many times you hear the word and you say, I got disoriented. Truth of the matter, you are not disoriented, you were realigned. Because you start feeling, why is it I believe on this, but this is not what I'm seeing? The principle of do good and receive good. Have you heard that? Do you believe in that principle? You don't? Oh, see? You do good, you receive good. It's a principle. It's a universal principle. Why would it not work on you? It's because of your paradigm of what is good. Because of your paradigm of who does the good thing to you. Let me take a moment. If you give, you receive. Principle. We all believe in that. Come on, you agree with me, you believe in that, at naniniwala kayo na pag nagbigay ka, tatanggap ka. Pilipino. Ang sagot niya, hindi yan nangyayari lagi sa akin. Eh kasi nga mali ang paradigm. Let me explain to you. The paradigm that normal people have is this. I give you, you have to give back to me. That's why in Filipinos, wala kang, kita nyo? O, sinong guilty? Who can connect? You heard that, right? Wala kang utang na loob. Can you hear that? Can you hear yourself saying that? Or have you heard people? Hindi kayo yan, mababait kayo eh. Yung ibang tao, mga kapitbahay natin, okay? Diba? Ito walang utang na loob. Tinulungan ko to dati, ngayon da and all. Right? Here's the thing. The principle works. The principle of giving and receiving works. Because that's the principle of sowing and reaping still. But you know what you're missing? It's the paradigm that, okay, when you give, alright, you will receive but not from the same person. That's the paradigm. And unless you understand that paradigm and get the paradigm shift, you will continuously grumble and say, why am I not receiving? It's because you are continuously believing to receive from the same person that you are supposed to be the giver and not the taker. That's why last Tuesday we talked about, if you have missed my talk last Tuesday, please go back and check the YouTube. I got it there last time. Giver, matcher, and taker. Alright? So, if you do not have a change of paradigm, you will always believe that the principle is not working. Are you challenged? At tahimik po tayo. Right? So, you've got to understand, ito pa, kapag maganda ang punla o pag maganda ang tinanim, yan ang aanihin mo. Have you heard of that? Hindi daw nagbubunga ng mangga ang santol. Principle. You've heard of that. Marami yan. Marami ang variation. But ang sinasabi lang natin, whatever tinanim, yan ang aanihin mo. Okay, my question. Why do you think it will not work at times with you? Saan nanggaling po yan? Because of the paradigm that kung dito ka nagtanim, dito ka umaani. Yan ang paniniwala mo. But what you have missed is the truth that in life we travel. In life we grow. So saan kayo nagtanim, wala ka ngayon doon, kapatid. Let it sink for a moment. You're getting the point? Are we in connections? Konti lang po to, kayang-kaya natin to. Stretch pa natin ng konti. Right? Nagtanim ka dito, and you grow. You move. Right? And you say, bakit wala akong inaani ngayon? It's because hindi ka dyan nagtanim. But you see, you are also eating somebody's harvest. You are eating, you are beneficiary of the things na hindi ikaw ang nagtanim. So you've got to understand and you've got to have the paradigm of sowing and reaping. Magtanim ay hindi, lahat yan, pag mali po ang paradigm, hindi mag-work ang principle. Not because the principle is not working, but because you cannot put the principle at work. Let it sink. Many times when we read principles, great men and women ahead of us, we want to copy that. We want to use it. We want to implement it in our lives. Truth of the matter, we want it. We are learners, all right? At points, if you are aching, if you have a broken heart, lahat ng mababasa mong prinsipyo tungkol sa puso, para kang sponge. Dito lang ako nakatingin, wala sa pilit. Dito lang po. Okay? At times, if you are financially down, everything that you can read about money, you want to take it. Alright? But the question is, it's not working, right? Because you may try to change your attitudes. You may try to change your behavior. You may try to approach things differently based on what you have read. But if your paradigm will not take off and have a shift, you will always go back to the same things of how you're doing it. Not because matigas po ang ulo ninyo, but because you needed that paradigm shift to break through. Worse, if you don't know that there is a paradigm that needs to be shifted. Make sense? Now, there is a difference between seeing and being. Seeing and being. Okay, seeing. Many times, we want to see things, but, okay, we fail to see that for that thing that we see to become a reality, we are supposed to be that thing. You want love, then be love. You want greatness, then be a great person. You want generosity, then be that generous person. That's where the paradigm and the principle separates many times. Because what you see, you want it happens. But the paradigm there is you're missing to see, to believe, doesn't mean it will be. Sabi mo kasi to see is to believe. Yes, but to see is to believe doesn't mean it will be. For it to be, you have to be that person. Tahimik po tayong lahat. Okay, now here's the thing. Because many of the things, okay, that happens to us every day of our lives, we fail to ask, is this a paradigm or this is a principle? I want to challenge you to start with looking at your paradigms or the way you see things based on principle. Okay, Coach A checking in. Okay, so can you start, okay, with implementing principle-centered paradigms? Meaning, when you start looking at things, when you start doing things, when you start accepting projects, when you start communicating, coordinating, whatever you do in life, could you start looking at, this is the way I look at things, what is the principle behind this? Okay. In our organization, in this coffee shop, okay, I would always ask my team, even when in my previous work, whenever a thing or a proposal or a project is given to me and I am required to respond, my first question is, what is the principle behind? If you work with me, you know that it always works with me. That's always my question. What is the principle behind? Because if you know the principle, then that would not be challenged by any universal truth, because that's already the universal truth. One principle that I learned from my previous company is this. The way you keep fairness in the organization is this. If you cannot give this benefit to everyone, then don't give it to one. Yeah, I learned it from my second job. I was resigning, and well, the owner asked me, well, they are a big retailing company right now. The owner asked me, why are you quitting? Why are you resigning? I said, everything works well. It's just that, okay, the next company got a car offer. And I said, sir, pagod na talaga ako maglakad. Pagod na talaga ako mag-commute. And here's the man who said, you know what, Adet? If only by this time, the company can afford to give everyone with a 2 stripes, because my ID was a stripe, I was an officer. If the company can afford now to give all 2 stripers with a car, I would have given that to you. Unfortunately, I cannot by this time. And that principle stick to my head. In everything I do, I've run many companies already before this. I'm a business consultant, and I always tell this to my client. If there is one thing that you want to give to one employee, be sure you can give that to everyone. Okay? When you are being asked, is this decision or approach or response to this person, is it accurate? Is it right? Makatao ba to? Maka-Diyos ba to? You know the way you look at it? Very simple. Palitan mo yung tao. Hindi siya yung tao. Will you react the same way? That's principle-centered paradigm. Because many times we say, ito dapat ang ginagawa dyan, O, palitan natin. Paano kung anak mo yun nandyan? Will you react the same way? Will you do the same way? Will you treat the case the same way? If you say no, then it is not a principle-centered paradigm. It is just your paradigm. And you need some shifting to do. Tahimik po tayong lahat. Okay? Another thing, you've got to understand the value of principles because principles are like lighthouses. Alam niyo po yung lighthouses? Lighthouses are, ano yung lighthouses? Nakakita na po tayo ng lighthouse? Ano po ang lighthouses? Okay? Gives light to the fisherman. Basta pag lighthouse, maliwanag. Kaya nga po lighthouse. Alright? Now, principles are like lighthouses. They are natural laws that cannot be broken. It is impossible to break the law. Remember that. If you believe you can break the law, you are not able to break the law because the law remains and you are the one being punished. So the law remains. The lawless, no, you still have the law. You are just not benefiting from the law. Now, what happens to people who break against the law, you don't break the law. You are the one being broken by the law. You break yourself against the law. That's why breaking the law and being lawless is a myth. It's not true. Because what happened when you break the law, you believe you've broken the law, you were not able to break the law. What you were able to break is yourself against the law. The law is the law. Remember that. The law of the land remains. Whether you like it or not, the law of the land remains. You don't want to believe in that, you will be broken against the law. But you cannot break the law. So there is no such thing as lawlessness. There is law. And if you don't subject yourself under the law, then you will be the one reaping the price of that being unlawful. Yes. Are we well? Okay na po ba tayo? Okay, next. Okay, konti na lang to. Principles. Konti na lang, okay? Principles are not values. Let me challenge your thoughts. Principles are not values. Okay, let me share with you that thought. Thieves, okay, would share values of pag gutom ka, kailangan kong kumain. Ba? Values yun eh, kailangan mo mabusog. Thieves or criminals would share the values of kapit sa patalim. Have you heard that? Share that. Those are values. Kahit anong mangyari, kakain tayo. But, that's the violation of fundamental principles. So you are mistaken when you say that values and principles are the same. They're not the same. Robin Hoods. Kilala niyo po si Robin Hood? The Robin Hoods of our times. Si Robin Hoods, maraming version yan, diba? But what does Robin Hood does? Anong ginagawa ni Robin Hood? Ha? Nagnanakaw si Robin Hood and then he steals and o diba hindi nagagalit yung mga tao sa kanya? Galing yan si Robin Hood. Ganon. But still stealing, right? White lies. Lie pa rin. Principles are guidelines for human conduct that are proven to have enduring, permanent value. Okay? Ulitin ko po ulit. Principles are guidelines for human conduct that are proven to have enduring and permanent value. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nagbabago. Yun po ang principles. Alright? So, finally, let me also break through and say, you have to evaluate the principles that you have in your mind. Because not all principles are also beneficial. I will not deal with the non-beneficial, but I want to leave you with the challenge of your principles should be, okay, of growth and change. Of growth and change. When you look into all the things that you are believing right now to be principles in your life, I want you to challenge it and say, is this principle leading to growth? Is this principle open to change? Because if that principle is not leading to growth, and if that principle is not open to change, then it is really possible that it is not principle, but simply paradigms. Alright? So, at the end of the day, whether you live by principles or by paradigms, it's a choice that you have to make. The distance between where you are today and where you want to be, or where you are capable of being, is defined by the series of choices that you do every day. And this series of choices is also determined by your attitudes and behaviors in life, and these attitudes and behaviors are also being defined by the paradigms and principles that are playing as mental maps into your head, into your being. Whether you believe it to be true or not, principles remains. Whether you want to submit to law or not, the law remains. Whether you want to use it for yourself or not, you are under the law. Divine law, human law, and the law will remain. If you try to break through it, you cannot and will not, but you will just be breaking yourself against it. At the end of the day, this is your life, and we value your life. And at the end of the day, we live a life, and we can live a life that is beautiful, and we can stay alive only if you submit to divine law and to the law of the land. Because the law of the land is what's protecting you from all the hurts and from all the disgrasya and from all the unwanted things that can happen to you in the land. You submit to the law of the land, that is your protection. And as you submit to the law of the land, you receive all the benefits of the divine law. This is Coach A. Thank you for joining me for another coaching for the soul. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Thank you!